Welcome to Chasing Rings Overtime. These fast break episodes are an extension of the main show, delivering quick-hitting takes, bold opinions, and analysis on the biggest stories and topics across sports. While we remain rooted in football year-round, Overtime expands our lens to cover everything happening across the sports world. We will return for a second season of full-length episodes in July as we ramp up for complete NCAA football and NFL coverage in preparation for the 2026 seasons. Until then, let's go. This is Chasing Rings Overtime. Welcome to another episode of Chasing Rings Overtime. Fellas.
What's going on?
Gentlemen.
Chilling. Well, we are going to go another route with our college sports discussion, and really kind of more of an extension of it that really is going to it's a football discussion, but it's going to impact all the sports at these particular schools. But want to take a look at what is happening with this 2014 playoff discussion that's being had right now. And I think we mentioned on one of the previous shows that the SEC is the only naysayer right now that doesn't really want to move to 24 teams. And I've gone back and forth with it. I wanted a multi-team playoff. Certainly I wanted it to be more than 4. I was good with last year. I don't want it to get into this March Madness situation where you had everybody and their mama now in the playoffs. I think that football is much different from these other sports in that regard. But I'm going to toss it out there with y'all, man. I know we had a little discussion before we jumped on, and my blood pressure is already boiling about this. But there's discussion of this Super League situation where the SEC basically wants to separate from everyone else. And we come to find out that the Big Ten and the SEC have been in cahoots discussing the possibility of breaking off, which I don't know why the Big Ten would want to do it. It's the situation they're in right now, dominating everybody. But money, right? There's going to be more money, right? So I'll leave it to you guys can jockey for who jumps in the first on this, man. I got to get my blood pressure down, man.
Go ahead, big dude.
Well, I think money is the biggest thing with this. I mean, there's money, there's recruitment, and I think the way that the NIL rules are, somebody's got to cry uncle, because I'll be honest with you, G, this is nothing against Ohio State. They always get their way against not just, the Big Ten teams, but with SEC and all those other teams that has to do with NIL, you all pretty much get your way on how you can, you guys are always first, and that's a good thing, always front runners. They want to try to probably put something together that I think that'll give it a little bit more parity, so the other folks can get the players that they want to get as well, because of the money and who has a better chance of winning. And I just think that the conference commissioners and all the other things that change in the SEC and I would say in all of college football, the SEC and the Big Ten seem to have the strongest voices when it comes to these other things, and seem to also have different resources and probably have gone through more change than the other conferences. And everybody has to wait to see what the SEC and the Big Ten is going to do. And I think almost any of those the things that have to do with the CFP and the other types of expansion that we have to have, everybody needs to find out how that's going to affect the conference. And those are the schools that, even if you don't like the school that you're at, I think if it's together, it's less of a stink, because you get to go to another school that's combined with all these different schools, So I think it's being able to find out who's got the best product, but who is going to be able to be most equipped to get the best product on the field year in and year out, as far as money goes and revenue. The TV, I think together is where people cry uncle, because everybody wants a share of it. But still someone is going to emerge. So that's kind of how
thing, man. if
Okay,
the
big
only
dude,
thing
you
that's
being
going
nice about this, man.
to,
You
yeah,
being nice about this. Go in, G.
if
Go
the
in,
only
G.
thing is going to change is where the money is going, but the
Right.
play on the field is going to essentially be the same. The between leagues is going to still be the same. They're going to still be a part of CFP. Then if it's really just about revenue,
Hmm.
what the heck ever. Y'all figure it out. I'm not gonna trip over it. But if you're talking about separating, and it's not just separating how the money works, but you're literally talking about not being part of the larger football subdivision world, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, no, they can kick rocks with that one. I
Yeah,
mean,
what does that even look like? What does that
I'm
look
a big
like?
fan, but I would not be watching anything big if they did something like that. I would
30
not.
to 40
It
teams.
doesn't even make any sense.
It makes zero sense, man. It's really because here's the other piece of that. There will always be some Big 12 schools, Texas Tech, for example. You always have your Miamis, for example, in the ACC, and they probably have a couple of them who can play with SEC teams and Big Ten teams and do a good job. And I think by icing that out, that's just problem, especially if you're truly a sports fan. So I would just wrap this up at this point. If this is about how the money flows, do what the heck you want to do. But if this is going to change competition in the football bowl subdivision, yeah, no, they can kick rocks with that.
Like, I think when I first heard that the power conferences would break off and possibly do their own thing, I was kind of like, okay, because then that is more teams. But now that I think about it, I mean, where's the competitive balance going to be? Because
Hmm.
you just said it, gee, the ACC is never going to win. The Pac-12, this new Pac-12, they're never going to win.
Well, they're in a group of six.
Yeah,
Right.
well, they can, yeah, exactly. I mean, so
Whatever.
it's going to be SC, yeah, pretty. Thank you,
They're
Big Two,
G6.
whatever, whatever. Which I think we said back in December, whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're in the G6. But
um,
yeah, the P4. I mean, they're definitely. I do believe, and you'll know how I feel about this. We need to separate G6 from P4.
yes,
There's
yes.
Mhm.
absolutely no reason there should have been two G6 teams in the CFP. There shouldn't even be one. Unless you have one that plays so well that they can make it to the top 24, and you have a 24 team, then okay, fine. But like if we stays 12, 16, and none of them are in that top 16, they shouldn't be in there.
I just feel. I guess I'm trying to figure out what is it they're trying to do. I mean, outside of this, I mean, if we can, you can't really take it out of the equation. But if we could take money out of the equation, what is it that they're trying to accomplish? You're not going to create a Gonzaga in football.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah,
not.
no,
And if
not
you
that
want to
type of
say, well, Indiana is okay, yeah, but Indiana's a Big Ten power, the top two conference in the country. So that's not quite the same as the Zags in the West Coast Conference in basketball. I
right.
don't know what they're trying to accomplish from a competitive stance because I mean, we could probably go back as far as we can remember on the spot. And where have our champions come from? Even when it was the dumb AP poll and the UPI voting,
Yeah.
where have your champions come from?
Yeah,
Always the power conferences,
Mhm.
basically,
right?
yeah, conferences,
And back
yeah.
then, I'll put the Big 12 and the ACC because those conferences were configured differently. Some of these teams that are now in
Yep.
the Big 10 and the SEC were in these conferences winning championships. So it's the same teams. You can go back as far as you want to. It's the same teams. The Zags never made it to the Sugar Bowl. They
Mhm.
never
No,
made it. You know,
no.
if they want to say Boise State that year in the Orange Bowl, they just happened to be the rep for the Orange Bowl. They weren't going to win anything by winning that game. They just happened to represent the conference
Didn't
that
they?
was
Didn't they?
assigned
Didn't
to
they get their hats handed to them?
it. Ultimately, they did, yes. But I'm thinking of the Oklahoma game where everybody's like, oh, Boise in college football probably thought they had lightning in a bottle, but no, you didn't.
Mhm.
College football is college football.
Yeah, it's a
Pull up
little different than
pull
basketball.
up highlights from the 70s. You're going to see Bama and Ohio State and Clemson and Penn
Yeah,
State.
Nebraska. Yeah.
It's going to
Nebraska,
Nebraska.
yeah.
It's going to be the same teams. So I guess what's bothering me is what exactly are they trying to do, and what would the SEC and Big Ten be accomplishing by breaking off? Because if they broke off, what do you guys think about this? If the SEC and the Big Ten break off and form this super league, you might as well just call it something akin to AAA baseball and just call it the semi-pro league.
Yeah.
Because
basically, because that's really, here's the problem. You really, the only benefit of doing this is not outside of money. I think that's the thing that frustrates me. I want to believe this about competition.
It's not, though.
It's nowhere near about competition when yes. Utah, Texas Tech, they played well. They can make it in a 12-team playoff. More than likely, neither one of them are going to win it all. But the thing is, they can be competitive with a decent number of teams in the playoffs. Same thing in the ACC. So this is not about competition. I wish it was, but it isn't.
If they wanted competition, I'm gonna turn the floor over to you, big dude. After this, I feel like we're monopolizing here.
No, this is
one of the things I want to throw out there is if they cared about competition, and I don't recall this because I guess it started happening when we might have been young teens, maybe preteens when this happened. I don't remember why the conferences fell apart like they did. But if you want competition, and this is just my opinion, if you really want competition to return to the sport, then you need to reconfigure these conferences, because these conferences are supposed to be regionally based. And when, you shared that about Texas Tech knocking on the Big Ten's door, how the hell you got a Texas team in the Big Ten, 2 Texas teams and an Oklahoma team in the SEC? It doesn't make any sense how the conferences are configured now. And I don't know why they fell apart. That's outside of my knowledge set. But outside of that, though, because the Southwest
outside of that, Guru, you trying to be nice.
Check this out, though. Well, how about the Southwest Conference? You can't tell me there wasn't money in that Southwest Conference where those schools were located. How did the Southwest Conference fall apart? Because money was, the money was there.
Well, SEC, when they got their contract and they saw how all that money was, and I want to say that Southwest ended up I want to say they aligned with the Big 8 to become the Big 12. Is that how that happened?
Some of those teams, yeah.
That was about money, man. People saw the grip that SEC was getting. Shoot, they were gonna go get that, and they had to pull the best teams they could get in the area to do it. So that's pretty much what happened. But I think to where you're going, Guru, is out of control. The Big Ten is a national conference right now. The ACC is a national conference right now.
Yeah,
I think the Big 12 is a Western. Actually, no. The Big 12 has some pieces like on the East Coast too, don't they?
It's got those. Yeah, now they do, and now they're like what do you call them? Group of 6 conference, as far as I'm concerned.
The Big 12, man, is almost like Conference USA with all over the place.
Yes.
And so, to SEC's credit, they tried to keep it Southeast to the best they could, and I would give them that. But I love your idea, Guru, taking it back to the regional basis that started it all. And and this is actually in the new law about really promoting the proposed law about promoting league rivalries. I think that when these leagues were smaller, 12 and 8, you had those rivalries.
Yeah.
So I love that, actually shrinking it all back.
It's just discouraging. To me. And I don't even know who's in some of these conferences sometimes, man.
Yeah, you got BYU in the ACC. That's just, that's what I'm saying. And when the Big Ten commercial comes up and they give all these, shots of location where folks are, all the way from coast to coast. And I think that when you start to talk about the value of things like, you wonder how you're going to replace the revenue. And you're right, G, for sure. People want to get rid of these conference championship games. I'll be honest with you, that would be a way almost to do it. If you had your little thing and your real, AFC versus NFC type conference thing, and you got rid of all those bowl games, that would be one way to eliminate all those things. And I think by trying to bring both of them together, that would probably be a shot at trying to recover the revenue that you lost from all of them. I mean, because that's a whole lot of revenue. When you talked about revenue, even though we may not be as interested in that, though, G, you were talking about some of those bowl games and how you thought that the conference championship game, that was your opinion, the conference championship games were glorified bowl games. Well, if that's the case, you know, and they were making more money than a regular bowl game, somehow they have to replace where all that revenue and all those things are lost. So yeah, it is about the money, and it is about, I think, for a lot of folks having a cleaner way to pick the finals. You know, 12, I say 16 would be a good number, and 24. It sounds like that would be the cleanest way to do almost all those things and get the revenue. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that I can see.
Gee, you're not going to believe this, man. You're not going to believe this. Today, I'm thinking about the show, and I'm thinking we shouldn't have conference championship games anymore.
Yeah.
And you know how we fought a few weeks ago on that.
Yeah, because
if this is what we're going to do, forget the conference championship game. You're going to put 24 teams in there?
That's what I'm saying.
This is why Dubs cry. That's all I can say.
That's a mic drop.
Man,
take it where you can get it, because once the season starts, I won't be giving you too many moments of satisfaction. So take it.
Here's the thing. On the one end, I understand where people are coming from who are bringing that up. Just when you think about the number of games, I get it. I even get it from a standpoint, if you get rid of it, there's that little bit of unfairness that those who get to play, they get that extra look, and that could impact, good or bad, you know, their positioning in the CFP or one of those high quality bowls. So, I mean, I get the pros of getting rid of the conference. You just have to work out the money, like Big D said. But what I really want to say, and y'all gonna probably think I'm nuts as much as I advocate for an FBS and a group of 6 type process, I actually kind of like the idea of ACC, Big 12, SEC, Big 10, just form a freaking national league and almost do it like the NFL and be done with it, because that's where you are.
That's what I was saying.
I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that.
So you're not
do 2 conferences. Yeah, don't just do 2 conferences though, because that that doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, if you expand it like that, I could live with it. I wouldn't like it, but I could live with that.
Yeah.
Because those are the teams, and you fed right into what I was going to say next. Those are the teams that are going to be in the 2014 playoff. And if you made it 32 teams, those teams are going to all come from that subsection of conferences. So
pretty much,
you know,
and you know, every now and again, you'll have your Dukes and your Carolinas who playing well, your Virginia Techs. You know, in the Big 12, you have your years where Utah is really doing it, and there's Big 10 and the SEC. They're gonna always be vying for top spots, and that's just how it is right now. The way it's working. So yeah, Guru. The reality is we're pretty much at that place. When you think about the size of these conferences, we're really at that place to just say, forget it. Let's just make this almost like an NFL model and just keep it rolling. Don't even have your conference championship becomes those last 4 games.
Well, and they're telling on themselves. If you can't even play all the teams in your conference because of the schedule, because you have so many teams in your conference, that tells you enough right there.
Good point.
Because you should be able to play all of the. I mean, in the NFL, you don't skip some of the teams in your division.
No, you don't.
That's what I loved about the Big 12. It was this round robin. Everybody played everybody. So you knew who won the Big 12.
Exactly. And and think about some of the ways we felt and some of the debates that we've had. I'm sure we've had conversations back and forth. Well, y'all didn't play such and such this year, so you escaped your
Right.
conference without. Like many years, Penn State was a victim of that. Didn't get to play. Penn State would roll, but didn't get to play either Michigan or Ohio State to really
Exactly.
show people that we the champs of this thing. And I don't like that. You should have to run through everybody. Basketball, you got to play everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to play everybody, and
So
I
they're
know that
playing 2 games
I know
a
they
week.
play more games. I know they play more games, but there's
But
no.
your point's taken.
Yeah, if you didn't have 900 teams in your conference, you wouldn't have to figure this out. You play everybody in your conference, then you get your out of conference games or whatever. Get your
We need to
homecoming
do
win
a
and all
show that if you make this NFL style, so what's that, 32 teams?
that. Yeah.
Who are those 32 teams going to be in college football that would make up the conference?
Well, damn, I guess that's Ohio State. That's the Big Ten and the SEC, I suppose.
Well, there's some teams in the Big, there's some teams in the SEC. Nope. You're not perennially in it enough to be in the
Well, and I
32.
think we get them out of there, right? And I think you let somebody like a Texas Tech in. Hey, I'd even go for BYU. They've been repping the last few years. I'll let them in if they want to get spanked around come playoff time, if they make it to the playoffs. Let Notre Dame come on in and get
How
spanked
about we
around.
do a show on that and
Let's
force us
do
to
it.
truly go in and look at these teams and say, what would be the 32?
Let's do that. Let's definitely do that. We'll make a note.
I think that would be great, and then we'll find out if the new Pac-12 works, or does recruiting go for one or two of those schools, and do they get poached?
And who's in that bad boy right now? Does anybody know off the top of their head who's in that?
Washington State.
Yeah. Washington State,
Cal,
Oregon State.
Oregon State, and Cal.
Yeah.
And
Cal is in there? Cal
Yeah.
Berkeley? I thought they was in ACC. Okay.
Okay, I got it wrong.
They're in the ACC.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, San Jose State, San Diego State, Fresno State.
San Diego, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, San
They
Jose
rated
is
the
not
Mountain
in it.
West, basically.
Texas State is a weird one, and the Zags are in there.
Yeah,
But the Zags don't play football. Yeah, the Zags don't have football though.
But they basically rated the Mountain West, man.
So what conference is Colorado in now? Because they're not in this.
Big
Colorado
12.
State's in this.
They're Big 12.
Oh, they're in the Big 12. That's right.
They went home.
See what I'm saying, man? I don't even know who's in what conference. I used to be able to read that like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
You got what is Pitt in the conference still? Is Pitt in the ACC still?
ACC still.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't know where people are anymore, but I don't know, man. I just feel like if the SEC and the Big Ten would get together, we wouldn't have much to look forward to, because to me, the regular season matchups, a lot of them would be meaningless.
Yeah, pretty much. What would Notre Dame fall in all of that?
Notre Dame have to go. They'd have to go to the Bush League. They'd be on the other side. They're not in the conference. So
there you go.
I think they're too smart to get caught up. They would probably take some of the other folks. It's like they're going to dip their toe in the water, but they're not going to get into no conference like that. They'll take the kind of the best of both and say that's their schedule, and then stretch it out. They see, and that's where they have their advantage and all the stuff they can do. They can kind of do both things, and they still get a great TV contract on its own. Remember, Notre Dame has its own TV contract. I forgot
share
how much
money with nobody. Share money with nobody.
I can't hate on them for that. I don't like it from a competition perspective, but if you can get your grip, get it.
But you know what they would do? Big dude started going there. Notre Dame will find a way to finagle some deal, just like they have for the 12-team playoff. If the Big Ten and SEC get together, then we have a clause that we become a part of whatever that Super League is. I can see them working on it already.
A new Notre Dame rule.
And the SEC and the Big will go along with it.
And I'd have no problem with it, because then we know that we see Notre Dame get taken to the woodshed 4 or 5 times every year.
I have no problem with it.
They'll have the revenue, but they want the rule too. You can't have both.
So
Now, would they be in a 32-team league?
yeah,
Notre Dame?
only because of their brand, and I would like to see them suffer. Yes. Even though I think they're about to take that next leap, man. I do think they're
I
about
mean,
to
it's
take the
going to
next leap.
happen. The reality, it will happen. It's just, it's a matter of time. It will happen.
I'm not sure, man, because quite honestly, I'm sitting here when I think about the season ahead. I don't know who the other teams in the Big Ten are going to be, but I'm thinking who's going to beat Ohio State is always on my mind. Who's going to beat Ohio State? I feel like Oregon will be there, but you know how that's going to work out. Never going to quite get to the championship game.
Texas
I'm
would
wondering if
probably be
Indiana's for real. I'm wondering if
I don't think
Indiana's for
Indiana's
real.
going to do much, but I believe Texas. I think they would give the Bucks everything they need. I truly believe
This year, yes.
Yes.
I think LSU was going to be a sleeper this year.
Because Lane Kiffin, I mean, whatever you think about his character, the dude can coach.
He can straight up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the dude can recruit and coach.
And if you look at the years that he was the Alabama OC, man,
I'll
be sitting here, sitting here lying to you if I say he wasn't a big part of the reason we won.
I was lying to you. Numbers too, dog. He was there.
He got. That's why all those Bama quarterbacks are in the league now. They can thank Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
But all right. So last thing as we wrap up this episode, let's just say if SEC and Big Ten get together, but we're going to bring in these teams from outside, and to say we were making this 32 situation because I think that we got 35 already. If we put the two together, who's coming out of there? Who are we kicking out? Northwestern's first on my list.
Yeah, I would say find a nice academic division and see where they can go.
Well, for that, then Vanderbilt.
Well,
I don't know if you can kick them out.
Yeah, Vanderbilt, I think, is a little bit better built for.
Whatever. That was lightning in the bottle. They'll go right back to the.
They're going to be
right
better.
Back to the doormat.
I think they're going to be better than they were when this kid was there. Not this upcoming year, but give them 2-3 years. This quarterback is going to be the real deal. And the class they brought in, real deal. If they all stay, Vanderbilt. I'm gonna go on record. Vanderbilt might win an SEC championship, man.
Bro, whatever.
Okay. Remember this. You're my witness, big dude. You're my witness.
Yeah.
But look, this is who needs to come out. I hear you. I'm ignoring you. Kentucky, Arkansas. I say get Missouri out of there. I don't know what they came over there for anyways. Go wherever Colorado is and resume your rivalry. I got to get one more in the SEC. I'm missing somebody.
That's actually kind of tough, dog.
Not South Carolina. I feel like I'm missing another doormat.
Actually, you could do South Carolina the way they play now.
That's probably the bottom four I'm thinking off the top of my head. So that gets them out of there.
Wake Forest, I don't think is far off being out.
Yeah,
ACC. They're ACC.
Oh, yeah. Right, but I'm just, okay. But I thought we were also thinking about who else could come in.
I'm saying who we could get, who we could kick out of the SEC and Big Ten to make room for other teams to come in to get to a 32.
And I guess Illinois.
Well, how many did you just boot out?
4 out of the SEC. So that brings
left
us
you with how many?
To 12, I think.
All right. So then we have to get the Ohio. We got to get the Big Ten down to 20.
You might not have to go to 12. You might not have to go to 12. You got how many teams again? How many teams 18. You have? 18. So 18. Let's say you just get rid of if you get rid of 4 at least. Yeah.
Northwestern. I would probably get rid of Maryland.
Yes, Rutgers. Forgot about them.
And Rutgers.
Oh yeah, Rutgers. I almost forgot about them.
And then one more. Did you said Maryland, right?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say Illinois.
I was going to say them too, but I feel like we're missing somebody. I tell you what, Illinois has been playing better ball than Michigan State.
Huh?
Illinois has been playing better ball than Michigan State. I tell you that much. When's the last time Michigan State been good?
Yeah, well, that is kind of true.
And are you going to keep them in there just because the Michigan State-Michigan rivalry? Like, what,
Yeah, I would keep them in for that reason.
Right? Okay.
Purdue, see, the thing about Purdue, it depends on the year. Because they can come in and just spoil everything.
Kick
But
them out.
Big
I
dude
would
don't
probably
like
say Purdue got to go. I would
Kick
probably
them
say
out,
Purdue
man.
over Illinois.
You can't kick
Kick 'em out.
Illinois. Yeah, you can't kick Illinois out and keep Purdue.
Yeah, you got to kick out
But
Purdue.
But if you
Purdue
want to
will
do two
always
more, if you got two
Purdue
more,
will-
but I think you're good there.
Purdue
Hey,
will always be the
Nebraska could
captains of academia. Good for them.
All right, so that's kind of
Nebraska could go.
so that gets us down to, oh damn, that's right, Nebraska could go. So you could do
There you
another one.
go.
So that gets you, so let's say we end up with 24 teams. So when we have that show, we need to think about what 8 teams would we let into the Super League. And Notre Dame's already wrote a letter to all the politicians to make sure that they got one of the spots. So they're approved already.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
All right, so we're definitely going to come back to that one. That's a great idea, G, to come up with that. So we got part of the Super League formed already. We just got to come up with who we're going to invite to be a part of it. Who's going to come get their butts whooped by the SEC and the Big Ten on a regular basis. But all right, that'll do it for this show. I know we were clowning on this one, but hey, it's all good. But we're kind of serious though, even though we were clowning about it.
It's gonna be the
thanks
CFL,
for joining us.
Guru.
Exactly, right? I like that. Shit, it probably could beat the CFL. Not trying to be funny. But thanks again for joining us for another episode of Chasing Rings Overtime. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe on all the major streaming services. And until next time, see ya later.